Now we are joined by Dr. Andrew Hoffman, and you will be speaking at a session here in the spring meeting called Corporate Motivations for Sustainable Practice. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
We appreciate it, Dr. Hoffman. Okay, Sustainability Symposium focuses on industry practices and programs. Can you kind of give us a preview of what your session will be like today?
Sure. Business strategy around sustainability really started in the mid-1990s. And it really started around the idea of fitting sustainability in with existing business metrics. So when I talk about sustainability business audiences, I talk about operational efficiency, consumer demand, cost of capital, and that is making advances in the area. But as we all know, some of the problems continue to get worse, notably climate change. And so we need to move to a different mode of thinking about sustainable business. And so I'm going to present in my talk the two ways of thinking about it. Enterprise integration, fitting it in with existing logics. Market transformation, how markets are now starting to evolve to address these issues.
Can you speak a little bit on each topic?
Sure. So the first one, enterprise integration, the way we pitch it to our students, this will get you a job. So walk into a company and say you can improve your strategy, you can improve your bottom line by addressing environmental issues given the market conditions today. This is a market shift.
Okay.
But if we're going to really solve the problem, for example, of climate change, we have to go from carbon constrained to carbon neutral to carbon negative. And the market right now will not give incentives to companies to do that. So the leading companies are trying to change the market dynamics around them to create the conditions that will reward them for doing it.
And so that is a challenge.
It's a huge challenge.
That is a huge challenge.
Yep.
What about the second?
Well, that's the second part, market transformation. So I can give you some examples.
Please.
So for example, on conflict minerals. Intel was extremely aggressive and forward-thinking in pressing for changes within the market, particularly around the Dodd-Frank Act, to have companies explore, measure, and disclose their access to conflict minerals in around the Democratic Republic of Congo. So they changed the market around them. Even when their own trade association, the National Association of Manufacturers, sued and had the transparency requirements taken back on Dodd-Frank, Intel disclosed anyway, compelling Apple to do the same, and so they changed the conditions around them. Another example might be Ford and what they're thinking about with the My Energy lifestyle, that if we really want to get electric cars into our lifestyles, we have to think about our entire lifestyle. So they're trying to reconfigure or think about a home differently. Solar on the roof, DC power throughout, appliances that are connected to the grid so that you can have your refrigerator go into the frost cycle when energy is cheapest and easiest to access, and trying to think about changing the whole system in a very creative partnership with Ford, SunPower, Eaton, KB Homes. That's forward thinking, changing the market around them, changing the context.
You said forward thinking.
Yes.
Where do you see it, hoping that these sort of things take place, people listen to people like yourself and they move ahead, where do you see things maybe in 5 years, 10 years? Are you optimistic?
Well, I have an answer for that because I get asked that, and I point out there's a very big difference between hope and optimism. Optimism looks at the odds and says they're in our favor. Hope says I don't care what the odds are, I'm going to do it anyway. So I prefer to say I'm hopeful but pessimistic.
I got it. That's a good answer. That is a good answer. You might get that question in your session today. Dr. Andrew Hoffman, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yep.